Hi, welcome. Hope Zvara here, creator of Core Functional Fitness, and I'm here to take you through a great foam rolling practice. So if you're new to foam rolling, just a couple things you need to know about. Foam rolling does not change the length of a muscle. It does not replace a mobility practice or a flexibility practice, but rather it's going to aid in that. So my best example is imagine your muscles and your bones in a bunch of those Walmart plastic bags. Super thin, but a lot of them. And so those plastic bags or saran wrap is the fascia in the body. So when that fascia is so stuck tight and immobile, no matter what we do, what we stretch, how we build strength, those bones and muscles are not going to go where they belong. It's kind of like why a chiropractor, you keep having to see one, and it's like nothing's getting better. The bone is not going back in place. My muscle's still giving me problems because you're not releasing the fascia enough to let that bone or muscle navigate back where it belongs. So it doesn't replace your stretching or your building strength practice, but it definitely will enhance it. So what we're going to do today is take you through the lower body and the upper body. You'll notice that this is a white foam roller. There are some different colors. Rule of thumb though, don't use a super hard one because you're going to end up bruising the tissue. I also like to use a soft one so that we can roll really close to the joint, hip and shoulder, and be able to get those attachment points. If you're using a super hard or dense foam roller, I would not do that. I would steer clear of all major joints because the tissue in the skin is really thin there. And then as all else, we're looking for that gravel part of the body. So smooth the gravel driveway to make it feel more like pavement. Any area that may feel a little tender, take your time, back off. You can use as much or as little body weight as you'd like. All right, so we're gonna turn the foam roller, cross it like a T on the mat, or it would be perpendicular. Doesn't matter which side you're gonna do, we're gonna do both. And let's lift up and come to the outside of the hip. So I'm gonna use my forearm, use a little oblique strength, and my top foot for help. And we're gonna roll through the outer leg line, or a T-band, and I apologize if I end up going off camera. Maybe if I move down a little bit. But you can see the foam roller, so that's the most important. And I also want you to make sure that you roll all the way down towards the knee. So I'm gonna roll around the outside of the knee. If you're someone with knee pain, your hip and the muscles that run between the knee and the hip may be to blame, as is between the foot and the knee. So I'm just kind of rolling through my quad, my T-band, and then I can come up and move up towards my hip as well, or I can do a full strike along the leg. So you kind of have to find what works. If I lean a little bit more forward, I'm going to be a little bit more in my quad, which might be a game changer. And depending on how you walk and how you utilize your feet, what kind of shoes you wear, if you do or don't wear shoes, that will predetermine a lot of, keep rolling, a lot of how you develop your legs, your hips, your glutes, your feet. So your body just didn't all of a sudden get like this. You never just all of a sudden injure yourself. It's a building up over time. So again, foam rolling can release the plastic bags that hold our bones and muscles in place so that they can go, one, back where they belong, and two, we can actually build the appropriate strength that we need. I'm going to take a couple more rounds of breath here. And just take note if more it's mid-belly tension of the muscle or more at the ends. Now your glute max wraps around at about mid-thigh or outer thigh is where it attaches. So if you're feeling some tenderness at that point, that may be more of your glute attachment attaching to the IT band. And then since this is a soft foam roller, roll right up over the hip, kind of up towards the top line of the pant. Might be a little bit tender in there as far as outer glute, upper glute. And if you need to spend more time than what we do today, pause me and then join me when you're ready, because a lot of times you might find a lot of asymmetry in the body, and listen to your body. That's what this is all about. All right, so now we're gonna move to the quads. Let me just adjust my foam roller. All right, so using my forearms again, I like to use a push-pull method. So I'm gonna roll back, roll in towards my groin, and then roll forward. Again, I'll try to move a little further back for you. I want to encourage you to roll all the way down towards the knee and all the way up towards the groin, whether you do it in small segments or long rolls. And then play with the rotation of your legs. Turn it out. You can see my feet. So I'm more on the inside line of the leg, more dead center, the belly of the thigh, or I can internally rotate my legs or even lean onto one leg more than the other and be able to work that tissue accordingly. We want to smooth the gravel driveway out. A lot of times you don't realize how rocky our quads are. If you're someone with back pain, you definitely want to add this to your regimen. If you have really tight hip flexors, this is definitely an area that you want to address. And just take your time, calm breathing. I'm using a little level of core support so my body's not hanging towards the floor. A little bit of an upper body workout bonus there. All right, awesome. So you can just roll to the opposite hip. I'm going to flip over those so that I stay facing you. And if you utilize your foam roller a lot, I always teach my students try to use the edges too, because they don't often get a whole lot of love. And that's usually then a little bit more of a firmer area. And when I mean firm, it's just not overly rolled on. So again, I'm going to roll all the way up over my hip here and then down all the way towards the knee. If you find that you have a lot of knee pain and not really sure what you've done or if you did anything at all, foam rolling may be able to help alleviate some of that tension. Again, I'm just rolling just a little bit more forward. You may need to roll just a little bit more back. Take your time. Just keep breathing. Today is definitely going to be a day you want to make sure you increase your water intake. And just a little food for thought. You want to add something to your water so your body can actually absorb it. Otherwise, water just acts as more of a cleanse than actually as a hydrator. So a little Celtic sea salt, a little trace minerals, a longevity packet, rebound, something like that. All right, awesome. So now we're going to flip over onto our hamstrings and roll through the backs of the legs. So I just like to pick up onto my hands and roll through the hamstrings, pretty easy. Roll through the backs of the knees. Because it's a soft foam roller, you can roll right over that. Feels pretty good. You can roll through the calves if you'd like. Awesome. So now we're going to sit on the foam roller and then leaning back onto your palms, cross your left ankle over your right knee. I'm going to do the same as you. I'm used to working mirror image, so more for me, I'm telling you that. And then as you lean to your left glute, you're going to roll out that glute and all of those tissues to hopefully find a good little release here. So I'm rolling all the way up to where the top of the back of my pants are. I'm going to lean out to the left, which is going to change that level of sensation. Those deep hip rotators we're trying to get at. I can sit upright and kind of work through now the sit bone attachments. And again, everything kind of feels a little bit different for each person, so your body is unique to you. We foam roll regularly in all of our classes at my studio. This is just a staple part of practice and whole body wellness. If this is too much for you, you can extend the leg out. When you cross that ankle, you do just draw the tissues into a little bit more of a taut position. All right, all you're gonna do is shift over, cross your right ankle, and again, rock and roll. And just calm breathing. We'll take a couple more good rolls. I'm going to really lean to the right here. If you're someone that has had or currently has back pain, definitely consider adding rolling into your practice, or if you don't have a practice, consider adding it in general, and hopefully you'll find some new releases. All right, so hop down onto the floor. We're going to work through the upper body now, and the upper body is an area I really find is essential. We often focus a lot on the hips because a lot of people feel their hips are tight. But for many of us, we're not using the upper body the way it's designed to be. We don't reach as much overhead anymore. So much of what we do is rounding forward. And so much of our body is locked into this forward position. So when we're told to reach the arm overhead, it won't go overhead. So we have to push the rib cage forward to give us the illusion that our arm has been extended overhead. And I see this a lot, especially in fitness practices, that we're just focusing on doing the movement rather than how our body actually does the movement. So a couple areas we're going to be rolling today is pec minor. So it's kind of right outside the nipple line, if you follow your nipple line over. And it's a really hard muscle to kind of get at. So foam rolling, and we're going to use the edge of the foam roller, can really help with that. We're also going to work serratus anterior, which is again a muscle, kind of the finger muscle I call it, that also often can pull the body forward, as well as through the underarm and into the tricep. So as you come over, I like to use the edge, and you can use your hand either on the floor or on the foam roller to kind of help you roll. So as you lay with your arm extended, you're going to roll and put as much or as little pressure through your upper body and onto that foam roller as you'd like. So I can lean a little bit more forward towards my pec, and you might find that that's like a whoo kind of feeling. If you've ever had a massage and the massage therapist is like, okay, take a breath, and sticks their fingers underneath your underarm, you're going to do that for yourself, and then hopefully the next time it's not so intense. So foam rolling can help your massage therapist not have to spend the first half an hour or even 45 minutes trying to get to the heart of the problem. You can do that for them, and you can also get more bang for your buck. So foam rolling before a massage practice or massage session, and also foam rolling before a chiropractic visit so that those adjustments stay and those adjustments are easier. And for, what, a $30 investment, it's really worth it. And then again, rolling through the underarm itself. If I turn my arm, so it's a rotation from the shoulder, not a rotation at the wrist, I can change that sensation significantly. I like to use the edge so that then if I need to lean a little forward, I can just get a little bit deeper in a much more user-friendly way. You can also now just slightly lean back, and you're going to be a little bit more on the outside of the deltoid, but also the upper trap. So you may find that this takes your breath away a little bit, especially if you tend to be a little bit more locked forward, or you do a lot with your upper body, and maybe there's some misalignment when you're doing that. I teach a yoga with weights class, and we focus a lot on form and function. And for my students that are athletes or they lift weights outside of practice, has really changed how they use their body and decreased their injury level significantly. So how you do things really does matter. All right, so now we're going to take that same side and we're going to tuck the arm. So you're either going to hold under the rib cage, top of the shoulder, or you can just let the arm hang. So slide that arm wherever it is you feel appropriate, and you're going to roll through the outside of the arm. I like to use my hand to roll the foam roller, one, so it doesn't roll away on me. So you're going to roll bicep tendon, which is down the side of the arm, and you're going to roll all the way up towards the outer line of the shoulder, kind of trigger point that area a little bit, and then roll all the way down towards the elbow. If you've ever had tennis elbow before, this is a must for your practice. So if you haven't figured it out already, I really like to educate as I practice or teach. If you find it annoying and you don't want to know about your body, just mute me. But knowledge is power. If I lean a little forward or lean a little back, that can be a game changer. Awesome. All right, we're going to do the opposite side. I'm going to flip over. You can turn over if you want. And again, I like to use the edge. We're going to start with the underarm pocket. This is really good for anybody with arms. And so again, trying to work through that pec minor. So leaning into that pec and then coming up through the underarm. If I lean a little further back, that's going to change that sensation a little bit. Find where you need to go and breathe. If I change the arm rotation as I roll through, that may also change what I'm feeling. Most important, just don't stop breathing. All right, so you can definitely continue with that. Pause me and join me when you're ready. We're gonna tuck the arm and work through the outside of the arm. All right, same thing if you've had carpal tunnel issues, wrist issues, elbow pain, tennis elbow, working up towards the shoulder. A lot of times the shoulder is the culprit of the issue, and it's usually poor posture, misalignment, and then we abuse those tissues. Muscles get tight, tender, and inflamed. Nerves end up getting pinched on. So usually in the body, don't blame the area that hurts. Look around that area. I call it the victim and the persecutor. Who's going to scream when there's a gun? The person holding the gun or the person that the gun is pointing at? The person that the gun is pointing at. And so that's usually where you feel pain in the body. So look for the person or the area of the body that's holding the gun, that's causing the issue. And it's usually an area that's surrounding it. If you work at with a mouse at a desk a lot, or do a lot of driving, this is a good one to work at. And again, if I lean a little further back, might change that. If I lean a little further forward, try to get all the way up towards the shoulder. If you need to, hold the roller. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to come onto our back. Foam roller is behind you. With it behind your back, lean back, hands behind the head, lift your hips, and take a couple good swipes across your back. So because this is a soft foam roller, you can roll through the lower back. If it was a hard foam roller, I would not recommend it. All right, and then we're going to drop the hips to the floor. Foam roller is at about bra line or mid-back. Slowly start to arch the back. Nice little extension. Use your hands and your head to support it so you can drop only as far back as you feel. You may get a free chiropractic adjustment on that one. If the head drops comfortably, great. If you need a head support, or you can extend the arms overhead. Let's take a couple good breaths here. And then gently use the hands to lift the head back up again. Use your forearms, gently bring yourself back up. And then last one is we're going to release the neck. So coming all the way onto your back, foam roller kind of supports you like you'd watch a movie on the ceiling. And you're just going to roll your head side to side. You may notice that one side feels a little lumpier than the other. So basically at your occipital bone, which is the base of the skull, is where a lot of your erectors, back muscles, traps, all attach up into, and very common one side is a little bit more abused. So feel free, roll that out. You have a twisted cervical vertebrae that may also cause more of like a protruding or a bulging on one side. Those muscles are aggravated, and also your vertebrae is twisted. So chiropractic care can definitely help with that. You can do this as long as you like. Feels really good. And then slowly when you're ready, turn your hips, turn your body, bring yourself up nice and slow. Great work. So again, foam rolling doesn't replace part of your other practice, but rather enhances anything that you do. Whether you're a fitness professional or just an avid yogi or someone that's never really moved a whole lot but is feeling stiff, foam rolling can definitely be something to add to your regular regimen. I do have an amazing book out. It's called Roll This. It's a foam roller and AccuBall manual and guide. It's available on my website, hopecorefitness.com. almost 150 pages of detailed guidance on how to use a foam roller, not just for fascial release, but also for core strength. And so feel free to check that out and use that as a teaching guide, but also as maybe a personal practice enhancer as well. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, you enjoyed this video, like it or leave a comment in the comment section, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much and have a great day. Namaste.